I'm Erika Barnhart, and welcome to the Pause and Fast podcast. I've lost 90 pounds using healthy eating and clean fasting, but more importantly, I've gained clarity, confidence, and a love for real self-care. This podcast is about sharing what I've learned and creating a community where we can grow together. One mindful choice, one fast, and one day at a time. Because every time you pause, it's a choice. When you stop just for a moment, you take back your control. When you sip water instead of reaching for a snack, when you breathe instead of rushing, fasting is power because when you pause, you're choosing yourself. So grab a cup of coffee or your water, take a deep breath, and let's dive in together. And now for a quick disclaimer. The views and experiences shared on this podcast are of my own and my guests, and they're meant for information and inspiration. They are not a prescription. I am not a medical professional, so please don't take my word over your doctor's. We'll be chatting about things like intermittent fasting and hormone health. And while it might sound like we've tried it all, your body is unique. So before changing your diet or your hormone health plan, check in with your healthcare provider. This podcast is all about sharing ideas and good conversations, not medical instructions. So always listen to your body. It usually knows what's up. Hi, I'm Erika Barnhart, and welcome to the Pause and Fast podcast. I am so excited to introduce my special guest today, Lisa Glick. Lisa is from Arizona. She is a 65-year-old semi-retired certified intermittent fasting coach, group fitness instructor, ultra runner, musician, and a dancer. And I'm so excited to talk to you. Welcome, Lisa. How are you doing?
And thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, of course.
I am excited to have you. It's really nice to see you and get to know you a little bit more. So I wanted to start just a little bit about intermittent fasting. When and why did you begin intermittent fasting?
Excellent. So I have been fasting for at least 10 years officially. I did dabble in intermittent fasting on and off throughout my teen and college years. When I was a teenager, I would fast one day a week. I don't think it was a clean fast, when I gained like a little weight in high school when you stop growing. And throughout college, I would fast on and off once in a while, but I don't think I was clean fasting. But I would just have a day where I wouldn't really eat.
Okay.
But then in 2014, I went through some big changes in my life. I left a 28-year marriage, and I was heading into my retirement, and I went through my menopause. And I've always been active running and dancing, and I'm a musician, constantly moving. I was a music teacher for my career. We never sit. Teachers know this. We never sit. So in 2014, I was with the man who's my husband now, but he was just my boyfriend, and he's a scientist, and we were long distance runners, and he had been doing some research and thought we should try going on the keto diet to reduce inflammation. And I was going through the menopause, and I was like getting this stomach, and I was feeling like not good all the time. So I don't remember how old you are, but I grew up in the 70s where like low fat, like no fat, like restricting, counting calories, blah, blah, blah. So when he said we're going to add fat into our diet and reduce the carbs, I remember having a panic attack. I was like, fat, I can't eat the fat.
No, that's scary. It's a huge mindset. I'm 45, so I grew up in the 80s. So also a very low fat period. And my parents were often low fat dieters. We had like fat-free butter and fat-free sour cream and all of those things.
Right.
And now I can't even eat those things at all.
Right.
I don't like that.
And part of when they take out the fat is they put all the chemical shitstorm into it. And
yes,
it's so bad. That's another whole conversation. But so Jim, that's my husband, he said, I really think keto would help us with the inflammation reduction because we were running a lot. And I was getting kind of cranky with the menopause and all my stress. So I was like, all right. So I trusted him. We did the bulletproof coffee in the morning, and I started adding the fat in. And I'd always been pretty low carb, but I really followed the plan. And immediately, once I added the fat back in, I was astounded at my satiety level. Like prior to this, I'd always been like measuring and counting calories, I was always hungry, and all of a sudden I was satiated. So I thought this is pretty awesome.
There's
And my
something there.
menopausal issues, I didn't have a lot of issues. I just had like the tummy and all that. That it was like gone. And then what happened was we would do the bulletproof coffee in the morning and we'd go running. And then I said, let's not have the bulletproof coffee. Let's just go running. And the next thing I knew, I was running like 10, 12 miles, completely fasted and feeling fabulous because we're fat burners. We're using fat as our fuel system.
Yeah.
So organically, it just led me right into true, clean, intermittent fasting. And I thought, this is amazing because I would bring food with me on the runs. You know, we would wear hydration packs, but it was so wonderful to just be able to run and not worry about eating. It was so great. We didn't have the stomach issues. And then, of course, in my whole lifestyle, you know, I'd go to work. I wouldn't eat until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I thought, this is the bomb. I don't have, it's like when your kids are little and you're nursing and you don't have to bring stuff. It was like, I got stuff in me. I don't have to bring anything anywhere I go. And I just love the
Yeah.
freedom of it.
So that was as early as 2014 you
Oh, yeah.
started experimenting with clean
Yeah.
fasting. Interesting. And the keto diet is a bridge for some people because you do kind of get used to not eating. It does change your satiety signals. I also have some experience with that as well. And so many people are afraid to exercise in a fasted state. So that's interesting that you're able to discover that about yourself even in 2014.
Yes. So I do have to say that we were following some ultra athletes, ultra meaning more than a marathon, 30 plus miles, that were keto athletes, meaning fat adapted. And these were elite athletes that were breaking records. So we thought if it's okay for them, it's okay for us. And I will never go back. Adding in, I'm not talking about just fat. I'm talking about like good food fat, like butter, real sour cream, good olive oil. You know, Jim, my
Mhm.
husband, eats nuts. I can't eat nuts, but it was life changing. And the other thing that happened when I went keto is I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression, and it really was helping calm my moods. And there's scientific data for that because the synapses in your brain, they need the fat. Some psychiatrists will actually recommend to their patients that they take omega 3s. So it was not surprising. And I thought, like, where you been all my life? Like, here I am eating fat. And then the fasting also really calming, especially the clean fasting. And I felt like, look at me, not needing to eat until 3 o'clock. You know, I just thought it was amazing.
That is amazing. So, how have your eating patterns changed since you started IF? Are you still utilizing keto for your main diet?
Yes. So I think I will be keto for the rest of my life because now I want to preface this. This is not medical advice, which I know you have a disclaimer, and and everyone is different. Bio individuality. Some people, they feel better if they're vegetarian. Some people feel better on a more plant-based diet, Mediterranean. That's fabulous. But everyone needs to discover what works for their biochemistry. And for me, it's non-negotiable. I feel so good on this. So let me say, I don't eat pasta. I don't eat rice. I haven't had a cookie. I can't remember the last time I had a cookie or a piece of pie, but I don't want it because when I eat that stuff, it makes me feel awful. So I've been pretty vigilant, not in a deprivation way, in a rewarding way. Like I eat foods that I like me back, right?
Absolutely. And I feel like fasting has given us the power to experiment with that and find out what really does work for our unique bodies. Because before I was just always trying to fuel my body any way possible. And now
Right.
I've been able to really see how it affects me. So I think that's wonderful that you're able to find that keto works so well for you.
It
And
does.
you
I
don't
will.
even want to eat a cookie.
I no, I can't. It makes me feel awful. It's almost like I'm allergic to it. But I will say when I was training I just did a 55 kilometer event, which is 34 miles, and I had to do a lot of 25 long runs, 25-mile runs. When I do more than 20 miles, I'll eat a couple of potato chips, but I won't eat the ones with the seed oils. I'll eat the good kind made with the avocado oil because seed oils not good for us. So I'm pretty picky about what I eat. We eat home a lot. We do a lot of cooking. It's not that I can't go out to eat, but I'm semi-retired. We have time, and we love to cook and eat at home, and I love knowing what's going into my body.
That's helpful as well. I've been doing that more as well. Yeah, in the seed oils, that's something I've been focused on too. I've just been very
Yeah.
aware of when there's
So
a seed oil.
So one thing at a time, though. With that being said, you can't be like, I'm going to intermittent fast. I'm going to get rid of the cereals. I'm going to get rid of the sugar. I'm going to. It's like one thing at a time, people. Just start slow and just add in one thing that you can fit into your life with success and that makes you feel good. You can't be overwhelmed. I mean, this has been a long journey for me. Besides starting intermittent fasting in 2014, I've had eating disorders since I'm a teenager. I had anorexia. I had a little binge eating disorder. I've had depression. I've had a lot of issues with food my whole life. Now I'm 65 and a half. And for me, this quiets the food noise.
Absolutely. I agree. That's wonderful advice too. Absolutely. So we touched on this just a little bit, but it sounds like intermittent fasting has influenced your mindset, your stress levels, and like your emotional well-being. Could you just tell me a little bit more about that?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
So we're talking about fasting and about nutrition that serves your body. Your mind is part of your body, and we also talk about the brain and gut connection. So I suffer from clinical depression. I've been clinically diagnosed. I was hospitalized after I had my daughter. I was very unwell. And for me, it's non-negotiable that I need to eat a certain way, not just for my physical well-being, but for my mental well-being. It's non-negotiable. It's like if you were allergic to peanuts, you would just not eat them, right? Well,
Right.
I know certain foods, if I eat them, they make me feel very unwell. They make me feel anxious, or it makes my blood sugar go up and then plummet. So I don't eat them because I have to work really hard. I mean, it's a habit now, but my mental health is the top priority, and then my physical health is second. So fasting and the keto, it's crucial to it's those are my tools, the top of my list, my tools for keeping my depression at bay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so that also you had you had said that you had started menopause a little bit or the perimenopause and we're seeing a few hints of that. Did you think fasting helped with that as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm 65. That ship has sailed. I'm like way done. I think I
Yes,
went
you're
through
way done.
menopause at 53, but um I I had like one hot flash maybe. And Jim Steven talks about this too. So the transition, I had maybe a hot flash or two. I did gain the little bit of weight, but I had already started the keto. So I sailed through my menopause. I was like, I'm done. It was great. And I'm grateful for that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And that's good to know. It's something just I've started researching more. And I think that I've set myself up for success during this big hormonal change. I'm glad I discovered it before. But anytime's a good time to learn more about it, right? So,
Yeah, but wait, let me go back. You said you're in your mid-40s. So here's the deal. Menopause, the pre-peri, it starts for some women as early as their high 30s. So it's never too early for women and their partners and their loved one, men too, to start getting ready because it's coming. Like we cannot do anything about it. And it's good to be ready for it, right? Like when the storm's coming, be ready for it
it's
because,
true.
yeah.
I've always known it's coming, right, in the back of my mind, but all of a sudden, what triggered me to start thinking about it a little bit more, well, I'm 45, and one of my girlfriends is a few years older than me, and she said that she was experiencing anxiety and how that could be related to menopause. And it just, I mean, I guess I knew that, but I had been experiencing a little more anxiety than I ever had. People
Oh.
always like said I was chill as a cucumber, and then all of a sudden I just feel it a little bit more. Like maybe I'm starting to show some signs of perimenopause or something like that. Or maybe it's food choices. I don't know. We're trying to figure that out, but just being aware of it is one of the first steps, right?
I think being mid-40s, it's probably highly likely. And I also want to say this, HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I need
Yes.
to say this. It's not a horrible thing. It's a very personal decision, and if we don't need to suffer unnecessarily. I did do topical estrogen, and that was also really, really helpful. Plus, it's not just about the hot flashes and vaginal dryness, it's about our bone and our muscle health. Because when your estrogen starts dipping, it affects all these things in your body. So I'm not saying everyone should run out and use HRT, but please be your own advocate. Do your research, because there's no reason to suffer. And also, it helps your muscles and your bones. It helps, estrogen is important to keep your bones strong.
That's great information. That's what I've been reading too. Whenever I've been doing my research, most people I talk to have chosen to try it and it's working really well for them. So
And they have
I
all
haven't made
sorts of,
that yet.
they have so many options now. They have like a patch, they have the cream, you could do like a dab, you can take a pill. Like there's so many ways, and you can also microdose. And there's
Interesting.
there's tons of women health medical professionals that have podcasts on this, like Cynthia Thurlow and Dr.
Yes.
Mindy Pels. And I did a deep dive into that. And they're also advocates of fasting, and they do not say that women can't fast. They're like, yep, women can fast, but when you are maybe getting your period or you're in a certain hormonal phase, you might want to do shorter fasts. So, but if some doctor says to you women can't fast, they don't know what they're talking about. And I that's a fact. That's a fact.
I agree. There's several women out there who are advocating for fasting, and it might be just in slightly different ways. And that's something to be interpreted by everyone. But the truth is, women can fast. You just might have to be a little bit more aware during your cycles of your hunger signals. But other than that, I've seen no
Absolutely.
issues, no trouble there. So tell me a little bit about how you share your message. What kind of like tools and resources do you recommend whenever you're
Oh,
coaching?
okay. So I'm semi-retired, but I've always loved podcasts because I do a lot of running. I'm out by myself. I run alone often, and so I love Cynthia Thurlow. Shout out to Cynthia, and Dr. Mindy Pels, and I do like Dr. Jason Fung. I like his message. He's a scientist. My husband recommends a lot of stuff by Ben Bickman. Ben Bickman, yeah.
Heard
So
that name.
yeah. So here's my advice. Podcasts are great, but just because someone's on a podcast doesn't mean they know stuff. So be discerning. Make sure they're a scientist or a doctor. Make sure the information you're getting is reliable and that you can look it up yourself and it'll back up what they say. So they don't have to be an MD, but there's plenty of research scientists or social scientists that know about these things. Oh, the other person I like is Dr. Georgia Ede, EDE. She has a whole book on nutrition and the brain. She is a psychiatrist and she uses the keto diet and intermittent fasting to help her clients with mental health issues. It's so
Nice.
fascinating. I mean, it's a whole new arena that we're just tipping the iceberg on.
Interesting. What was that name? One more time?
Dr. Georgia Ede, I think it's EDE. She's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
I'll try to add that to the show notes as well, but I'm interested in learning as well.
And I want to throw this out there. I'm not saying if you suffer from depression or anxiety that you should be opposed to medication. Medication saved my life. When I got really sick, I was on an antidepressant. It saved my life. It brought me back to being a human being, a functional human being. And then I was able to with my doctor's help, wean off. But please don't say, well, I fast and I do keto, so I don't ever need medication. It's like sometimes we need medication to get us to where we need to be.
I actually advocate that a lot. I think that fasting
good.
is a layer. Medication is a layer, not medication alone. Maybe there's other things that you could change as well. So it's just another addition to making you a healthier person.
Yeah. So I want to segue into things that people think are a cure-all for everything. So I'm a long-distance runner. I've run 100-milers. I've run 50-milers. I just
Wow.
did and I have a lot of friends in the running community. They're like, well, I'm a runner. I don't have to go on a diet, or I'm a runner and it will fix whatever's wrong in my life. And so I think running and exercise are great tools to deal with your issues. But if you need therapy, you need therapy. Like you cannot just go run away from your childhood. And the other thing I see a lot in the fitness community is people are like, well, I run, so I'm healthy, and they're 20 pounds overweight, or maybe their blood pressure is high, or their A1C is off. So we all know this. You cannot outrun a poor diet. So running and being fit, there's wonderful. But just because you run or exercise, it doesn't mean you can't fix your nutrition.
That is great advice, Lisa. Is running your primary way of exercising? You do that a lot, so.
Yeah, I run almost every day or walk. I do a lot of hiking and a lot of walking. I walk. I'm really fortunate. I teach fitness. It fell into my life. I was a teacher and I'm a dancer and a singer. And the next thing I know, I got asked to get Zumba certified at my gym because I dance. And the next
Yeah.
thing, so I'm teaching Zumba. And the next thing I know, I'm teaching spin, I'm teaching weightlifting. So now I have like 8 certifications. And then when I retired, okay, so I'm originally from New York, in case you can't tell from my accent. And we moved out here about 7 years ago. And there's a gym down the street from me. And one of my friends said, Lisa, they need another fitness instructor. It's 2.5 miles from my house. And I go there and now I'm teaching 3 days a week. It's delightful. I get to interact with other humans. I have to use my brain to plan, my classes. And so I drive 2.5 miles and I get to work out with really great people and I'm getting my weight bearing. I do weights. I teach a little fitness dance. I teach some TRX. So I I do lots of different modalities of exercise and I love it because it's so good for our body and it's good for my brain because I got to concentrate. Like, what am I doing with the weights?
Right.
And and they're paying me. They don't pay a lot, but they pay me. And it's like so fun. I put on my pretty outfit and put on my mascara and I put on a good playlist. And even though they pay me, I feel like I'm giving back. I'm helping people maintain their health.
Yeah, it feels like I could tell by your excitement it might be something you even do for free, right? I won't tell them that, but
But I'm not allowed. I'm really not allowed to talk about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist. But if somebody asks me, I'm not going to lie. I say, I haven't eaten. I'm teaching a 10 o'clock class. No, I haven't eaten yet. I don't eat till 12:30. And I tell them I don't need any sugar. And if people ask me, I tell them the truth.
yes, that's a great point too. Or you could lead them to this podcast or another place where you've spoken if they want to learn more. That's often what I do as well. And do you find that they're often receptive? Are they interested in hearing more?
Okay. So it's a coin flip. So some people are interested, but I don't know if you've come across this. This is a big bone in contention with me. Personal trainers, they're still, it drives me nuts. They're still advocating that people have to eat before the workout, they eat after the workout. And I'm like, I run 18 miles fasted. That is baloney. So I run into that. Well, my trainer says that I have to eat before workout. Okay. And then I just had a recent experience. This was so interesting. There's a woman who's quite overweight. She's going through her changes. And she said to me, I don't even feel like myself anymore. And I said, what, have you tried fasting? And her husband is a doctor. So she came back the next day and said, oh, my husband said fasting is starving. So I was like, okay, your husband's an MD. He's old school. He's like 63. So
Yes.
I gave her a list. Ben Stevens, Dr. Jason Fung. I said, have your husband take a look at this. Oh, no, I can't fast. It's starving. So I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push it.
That's all you can do sometimes, Lisa. I've said so many people have been like, oh, that sounds like starving. And I said, let me tell you about these. And then they're excited. They come back to me a few weeks later and be like, I'm
Good,
doing it. I love it.
good.
Or it's not for me. Like that happens so often. But there's always that once in a while, that person they've already decided, they know. And, but usually if people give it a try, they like it. Or at the very least, they could come back and say, like, I've decided it's not for me. So
Yeah, but the other thing, and Jen talks about this, Jen Stevens and so many of the other influencers, even though she said, oh, no, my husband, no, no, no. I planted the seed. I planted a seed with her, and I know she's very, very, very unhappy with the weight that came on, and she doesn't feel like herself. And maybe when he's not around, she might go and look and ask him to think about it because she knows, look at me. I mean, look at me. I'm a walking example of good health, right?
and it's still just new to some people, as I've heard on so many other podcasts. I mean, I don't know this for fact, but so many doctors say that their nutrition or their health courses were so short. It was just like a blip on the radar.
Nothing.
Even my parents are nurses, and when I first started fasting, they hadn't heard of it at all. So my mother has done a lot of research. She really seems to understand it. My dad just started mentioning it. I don't know if he's interested, but he's just starting to learn about it himself, and he's a medical professional. It's pretty interesting.
It's so interesting. And don't even get me started, the running community, it's a little frightening to me. I mean, these runners, they got to eat every half hour, and it's like, really? Ew. And did the gels and they got to have their gels. And And then when we're done running, we go to the coffee shop and they're all eating the bagels, and you ran 3 miles. You don't need to eat all that food after you ran 3 miles. You know what I mean?
Right. Or maybe that's their excuse to eat all of that food, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And sometimes they should just try it. I will also share with you, I was working part-time at a restaurant on the weekends, which was fun. A couple of the guys there were lifting weights, and it was interesting to hear them talk in the kitchen about all the shakes that they were drinking. And what shake are you trying this week, man? And as a faster, I was working at a restaurant and not eating the entire day. And
Oh,
I'm like, I can't believe they've already consumed all of this stuff just for one workout. And they were like force feeding themselves protein all day, like, oh, it's chicken time. I'm like, this is weird. It was just weird how
wow.
obsessed they were with what they were eating and drinking before, after their workouts. It was a lot.
Yes. And let's get back to you with working in the food industry and being a faster. That's pretty impressive, Erica, right? Don't you
Well,
think?
I was pretty proud of it, actually. It was not my full-time job. Full-time, I work in the salon industry, so that's also a lot of fun, and I visit hair salons. But I was off on the weekends. I'll tell you my story real quick. I was off on the weekends, and we had just bought a new house, and I hadn't had the grandkids yet. So there's a little bar and grill up the street, and I asked if they needed Sunday help. So I was just working Sundays, and I used it actually for a down day. So that was my biggest bragging right. I almost
That's
never ate there.
amazing.
I know I was cleaner because I wasn't touching the food. I wasn't, my hands stayed clean, right? Because I wasn't eating all day. It was
Right.
really eye-opening, and it was one of the best things because I usually had a down day, or sometimes I have a 500-calorie down day where we were allowed to have
Right.
like soup and salad. So I have a little soup and salad and just move
Right.
on. And I was in my workout. I made extra money. I paid off all my credit cards, and then I don't do that anymore. But it was actually a lot of fun, and it was a huge flex. People were always shocked that, like, you've been here all day and you haven't eaten anything. And I'd see all the servers eat all day, like
Yeah.
picking up French fries and potato chips and cucumbers, but like all day they were eating something.
Right. And plus, I would imagine that if the food's there, it's hard to monitor like your little of this, like you're all day long you're eating, and that's making your blood sugar, your insulin go up. So for me, when I do a long run, like a 4-hour run fasted, I am like Wonder Woman. And here's the other
Yes.
thing. I feel so good. I love not having to eat when I run because I don't know if you know about running, but a lot of people when they run long distances, they have stomach issues. They get like diarrhea or they feel nauseous.
Okay.
Uh, I don't have none of that because I'm not eating. It's not that like when I did the 30 miler, I did eat, my 50K. But when I do a training run, it's like Zen meditative for me because there's nothing interfering with my experiencing the nature and being in touch
Oh,
with
that's
my
wonderful.
body. It's like a moving meditation for me, and it's a detox, and I just love running fasted. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm having a bad day. I'm just going to go run, I'll do a longer run, maybe 2 hours fasted, and I feel like completely reset in my everything.
That's beautiful that you found that. Now, I am not a runner, but I do love hiking. I love walking. I feel the same way. Taking a nice hike fasted. I've been on a 2-hour hike fasted. I feel great. I feel strong. I'm not thinking about food the whole time. I'm thinking about the
Excellent.
birds and the leaves and the
Yes.
flowers. And
Beautiful.
it's meditative as well. It's like my
Yeah.
go-to after a stressful event. I'm like, I'm going for a hike, and it gets me in my space a little easier. And same thing, back to the serving thing, I was a better server whenever I was fasted. I can remember
It's
people's
amazing.
orders. I never forgot their drinks. It's amazing. Just the
The
Yeah.
clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
was actually really good at it.
yeah. So I'm a singer. I perform. Like I was a music teacher for my job, but I've been performing since I was a little girl, and I was in a band, and I've done all
Nice.
sorts of things, community theater, but I still sing now. I sing at nursing homes, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh yeah, but I never eat before I do a performance, and you'll get this because I'm singing. I don't want any postnasal drip from anything. I don't want
Right.
any stuff in my stomach because singing, you got to breathe. And when I sing fasted, I'm just so present. I'm so in the moment. I feel like I can do my performance. I can interact with my audience. It's like a spiritual experience. I just love it.
That's wonderful. And singing is almost like a spiritual experience, and
It
to be able
is.
to connect at even a higher level is
It's
just so
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I
lovely.
love that. I feel the same thing about this podcast. I prefer to talk to people when I'm fasted.
Right.
For my my main job. Sometimes I give presentations or something, and I love to do that fasted. I'm just focused. I'm in the moment. I feel clarity. So I can really relate to that, Lisa. And that's something that everybody should recognize. You don't have to eat before your workout. Try it. You might actually like working out even more.
So I want to talk about this because a lot of people they're just afraid. They're like, because I was back in the day, you have to eat every 2 hours, keep your metabolism going. I would go to school, I would have like snacks, I'd have my lunch, I would have a snack at 10 o'clock when I was teaching. And I remember, and a lot of people feel this way, like I might get hungry. So, okay. So you might get hungry, you're not going to die. So I think when people just starting out, a lot of what prevents people from doing fasting, besides the narrative we've been getting incorrectly for years, is the fear. There's fear. So I think Erika talked about this. Not Erika, you're Erika. Lisa, the woman you just interviewed. I think
Lisa
she talked.
Evers. Yes.
Yeah, I think she said, I think she was a kindergarten teacher. Yeah. And she said, yeah, I would go to work and I would skip breakfast, right? And I would make it to lunch, and then it progressed. And that's what happened to me with the bulletproof coffee and the running. So, when I go out to do errands, yeah, I might have some bacon jerky in the back of my car in my little emergency box, but I'll go out and go to the market and get my gas, do my errands. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, what if we go on a road trip and I don't have
Yes.
food?
That's huge. Well, that was something that struck me too. Like, hunger is not an emergency. And
It's
all of a
not
sudden
an
it clicked.
emergency, right?
I'm like,
And now
never anywhere where I can't find food within a reasonable amount of time.
exactly, but even flying, I don't know if you heard of Lori Lewis. If you've, she's
I
another.
have.
I'm friends with
Yes.
her. I've interviewed her and I bought her books. She's a genius.
Nice.
So Lori, like, she travels fasted, and she feels like she drinks her water, she washes her hands, and she feels like that keeps her healthy. And for me, I love traveling fast. I don't travel a lot, but I do, every now and then on an airplane, or I'm taking a long trip in a car. I love being able to travel fasted because I'm clear-headed to drive. I'm not distracted by when am I going to get food, when am I going to stop. And so what I would say to people is, you start small. It's kind of like when you're a runner. You run a mile, then you run 3 miles, then blah, blah, blah. So you go an hour, you just go another hour. You're not going to die. And you can also have food nearby, just in case you get the shakes. It's a muscle that you need to strengthen.
Absolutely. So many people are afraid of getting shaky or something, but that's a great tip, Lisa. Have a healthy snack, pack yourself something just in case you do feel
Just in
too
case.
hungry.
Just in case.
I used to carry with me like a bag. You said you don't like nuts, but I would carry like a bag of almonds and, like you said, some jerky or something. I don't know if I almost never used it. Right. So,
Right.
and that's kind of my thing, just to back that up as well. I am a traveler. I travel a lot. I travel for work. I love that too. My husband used to tease me because my car would be dirty from my snacks and stuff like that. But now I take a whole road trip. I don't eat in the car anymore. Like, it's water or a cup of coffee and I'm ready to go. And it's just so nice not to have to worry about that. Eating
Yeah,
snacks on the road or
it's great. And I really feel once people get used to that, then you're just so present, because you're not worrying about what am I going to eat, like I have an icky taste in my mouth, I feel a little indigestion or whatever. So yeah.
yeah, I'm really present in the drive. So I'm a better driver. I'm scanning the road more. I'm looking for other vehicles. But I'm also present to even enjoy the nature around me instead of the food next to me, which is also dangerous to like eat sandwiches in the car all the time. Not a good
I
plan.
agree. Yeah. So I did want to mention the name of your podcast, and I love this. It's Pause, and
The Pause and Fast podcast.
that's it. So I love this word, pause. I love this word so much for so many reasons, because I don't make resolutions, but I have a growth mindset. So for the new year, I want more peace. I want more peace because I get upset about things. So one of the things I'm working on is the pause, even in my reaction to things. So I think with fasting, and even though I've been doing this for over 10 years, I still have days where it's hard. It's not every day is rainbows and unicorns. So I have days where I'm having a hard time today. So the pause. So I feel like I got to eat now. It's like, Lisa, just pause. Take a breath, get a glass of water, have a cup of black tea, and then I get over that little moment and I'm fine and dandy. So I love that you titled your podcast with the word pause.
Thank you. I like it too. I feel like pause is such a powerful word, like you said. And then if you are still hungry, of course, you can go ahead. But so many times in my life, especially lately, I've been just reminding myself, just let's take a pause, let's take a breath, let's really think about this to be less reactionary and more intentional. So that is my goal with that. I love
Yes.
it. Thank
So
you.
I also want to say I've been doing this since 2014. And what is this, 2026 now? I'm 65
So
and a
12
half.
years just about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still alive. Look at me.
Yeah.
And my husband does intermittent fasting, and he is not trying to lose weight. He does a shorter fasting time and a longer eating window because he's a very slender man, but he still gets 12, 13, 14 plus hours a day just for the health benefits. And he has to eat after he works out because he wants to keep his muscle. But fasting is not only about losing weight. I think that's really important. It's a health tool. And the other thing I want to
Absolutely.
say is, like I said, it's not always easy. Like anything worthwhile in life is not easy. It's okay that everything is not easy. I think in this culture nowadays, everybody wants instant gratification. I was a
Right.
teacher, and everybody wants everything now and right away, and it should be easy. It's like, no, sometimes things have to be hard, and you're not going to die, and it's okay. And then it's more worthwhile, right? Like I
It
got
is.
to 3 o'clock the other day without eating. It's like, yeah, look at me.
It's a
Okay.
confidence booster, right? You're like, I'm so proud of
Absolutely.
myself. Or even, like you said, going on a run fasted or delivering food or prepping food fasted. It's all just every time you keep that promise to yourself, it builds more confidence. And I love that. So that brings me to surprising benefits. What kind of things have you seen beyond weight loss? Now, you said that you're really living, and I could tell you're strong and muscular and all the things.
I mean, I could do a whole podcast on just the benefits. Um, so the menopause issues, absolutely that. Dealing with my depression and anxiety, it's absolutely my top mental health tool. Um, I'm pretty slender. I'm 5'2.5", and I weigh. I have a range. I go between 113 and 115, and pretty solid, man. But I'm muscular, and I look like I weigh 109 because I'm solid. I'm tiny.
I could tell that, yes.
Thanks. So I like being thin and wearing a size small, but I have to tell you, that's not the main. Even if fasting and keto made me a little bit heavier, I don't care because I feel so good. I'm strong. I can lift things up. I can run long distances, and I don't take naps. I get up, I go all day, and then at 8:30, I'm out. So
You're done
we live in Arizona, so we have to get up early to beat the heat, most of the year.
for the running, yes.
But I
Mhm.
just feel like fasting, they talk about fasting and prayer in some religions and, monks. And I think fasting, it's absolutely a lifestyle for me because it's part of the definition of who I am. I'm a singer, I'm a runner, I'm a dancer, I'm an intermittent faster. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, blah, blah, blah. But so many health benefits. The reduction of inflammation. It's not that I don't ever get sore, but I did the 5K in 3 days. I was like all recovered.
Wow.
And I broke my arm when I was 61, a couple years ago. I broke the humerus. I fell off a bike. It was very fun.
Ouch.
But I went to the orthopedic, and he was like, "Oh, 61-year-old female, like you're never going to be able to raise your arm over your head." I was like, "Watch me." So my bones are so good. My bones are so good. I had the DEXA scan, and so I broke the humerus. I healed so well, and I was like, uh-huh. So my overall health is so good. My bones are good, my muscles are good, my A1's I did the fasting insulin test. I got like the lowest score ever. And
Wow.
it was good. I just want to mention one other thing. Yeah, so my health is very good. I want to talk about cholesterol. Can we talk about that? Do we have time?
Absolutely. Yes, we've
Okay.
got time.
So this is another one of my soapbox things. Okay, so not just for keto, but a lot of people when they start intermittent fasting, and a lot of people have discussed it, their cholesterol goes up because even if you're not keto, when you're intermittent fasting, you're basically fat fueled. Your body's using your fat for fuel, right?
For fuel, yes.
So this is another whole podcast, but if you go to your doctor and they tell you that your cholesterol is too high and you have to stop fasting, or God forbid, they tell you they want you to go on um that medication,
Statins or something?
statin. Thank you, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Um, you need to really have informed consent because my total cholesterol is like 300, but my good cholesterol, it doesn't even register. I have so much good cholesterol. So when you divide your happy cholesterol by your triglycerides, by your HDL, there we go, HDL, my number is like 0.04, which is so good. So I want to warn people, even if they're not keto, that when you start fasting, because the fat is breaking down in your body, and you go to get your labs done, your doctor might be like, oh no, your cholesterol's too high. So I want to say this, and this is a fact. This is not my opinion. The way we measure cholesterol is antique. It's old. It's wrong. And we need cholesterol to help prevent dementia. We need it for our muscles. We need it for our hormones. So I understand if people have a family history of heart disease, they get nervous. So informed consent, do your research. The other thing I want to recommend is I had a CAC score. It's like an MRI of your heart to see if your arteries have plaque in them. So I went before I left New York, I was 58, and I have a family history, grandpa, blah, blah, blah. People died of heart disease. My brother died of a stroke, blah, blah, blah. I had a zero, no plaque on my heart. And this was keto,
Wow.
intermittent fasting. I had it done again when I was 63, zero. So if your doctor says, oh, your cholesterol, blah, 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 say, okay, I want a CAC score. Even if your insurance doesn't pay, they cost like $99. There's so many
Oh,
tests that cost like nothing because people are like, oh, my insurance doesn't pay. So what? You can go at almost any diagnostic place. You can check, I want to have this done. It's not invasive. They just slide you into a machine. It's not even like a full MRI. Your head is out. They just got to get your chest where
like
your
a
heart is.
chest scan,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
it's called the CAC score. So this is a big thing. You know, Matt, my husband's a scientist, and this is a big thing when people start freaking about their cholesterol. And I'm like, my cholesterol is the Rolls Royce. So I just want to throw that out because when people start fasting, if they get their labs done, their doctors might say, oh, you have to stop fasting. So please, people, do your research and be mindful of the current data.
Yes, that is great advice. That's one of the reasons I started fasting because I was avoiding getting onto a statin. My cholesterol was high. But
Oh,
now
good.
I'm starting to understand a little bit more about good versus bad.
Yeah.
I would probably do a lot more research before I made that decision.
So the formula is you take your HDL, the way I remember it is the happy, right? There's HDL and LDL, and you divide your HDL by your triglycerides. It might be the other way around. I got to look, and I'll send you
Yes.
an email later. And that's the number. If it's below point 0.8, point 0.8 or 8, mine is 0.04. Oh, 04. I'm like,
So low.
yeah. So, and I eat keto. I eat a high-fat diet. And I have a family history of heart disease. So there.
So yeah, you are eating fat and cholesterol and it's working for you. So maybe ask for a couple more stands. And that's a good advice. That's good advice as well. So many people get frozen because, like you said, they don't have insurance, the right insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover it. But some of these things are really obtainable.
Right. Just
Yes,
like
even
your
just for
fat.
$100.
Right. And like your fasting insulin, like A1C is good, but you ask for your fasting insulin. You ask for it because sometimes doctors, they won't, they have their standard of care and they won't put it on the lab. They won't check the box. You can ask, be your own advocate. Oh, well, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
Getting your lab work. This is important. If you're an intermittent faster, you don't want to go get your lab work after a 24-hour fast because it'll mess with your numbers. So you want to make sure you time it so you go after maybe 12 hours. You should be fasted, but you don't want to get your lab work done after extensively long fast because it'll come out inaccurate. Also, you don't want to work out right before you get your lab work done because that will interfere.
And then there was one more thing I've heard of too, the dawn effect, whenever your cholesterol is just naturally a little higher when you first wake up in the morning. Is that cholesterol?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Well, all things. And the other thing about lab work, it's a snapshot of a single moment in time. So if
Absolutely.
something looks funky, go back in 2 weeks, get it done again. So,
Yeah, try a different time of the day. That's actually what I did. I'd heard about the dawn effect and I had gone the first round in the morning. First thing in the morning, I went.
okay.
And now that I'm a faster, that's another good tip that I share with people.
Oh,
You don't
good.
have to go get your blood work at 6 a.m. anymore. You can go at 11 when no one else is there and not have to
I
wait in
know.
line.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that so wonderful?
Yes, I used to rush there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to eat breakfast. And now I'm like, I wish they were open later because I could probably go, afternoon if I wanted to. So
So, for years, I was taught you got to have breakfast. All the years I was teaching, I was growing up, breakfast, most important meal of the day. And then I realized eating breakfast made me more hungry. Like if I would eat breakfast, I would be hungry by 10 a.m. And now that I don't eat breakfast because I don't open my window till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like I love not eating breakfast and I don't eat it. Even if I go on vacation and I'm doing a social, I don't eat breakfast. If I go out with someone and they want to eat breakfast, I'll have my coffee because it messes me up and it takes me 2 days to recover.
I used to love breakfast, but now I'm not even interested. I like breakfast foods. We still sometimes have them in our eating window. So
Excellent.
that's a lot of fun. But I used to wake up, Lisa, and as the coffee was brewing, I was making my bagel. Like it was the first thing I
Uh,
did in the morning. And now it's not even like a thing of don't miss that at all. And that's something I really couldn't imagine. And a lot of
yeah,
people do say to me, I'm sure you've heard as well. A friend of me mine just said, I really love having my oatmeal and my coffee in the morning. I'm like, well, you could have your oatmeal later if you wanted
yeah,
to, you know,
absolutely.
just
And
depends
let's
on
talk
your
about
body.
coffee. Let's talk about coffee. Since we're not
Coffee.
eating breakfast, a coffee, New York, I get the best coffee. We have an espresso and I love the smell. And I'm like, I don't drink
Mm.
alcohol. I don't eat cookies. I'm getting all the coffee I want because that's my favorite thing. I drink it black. And so I got the Nespresso because I used to put like Sweet and Low or, those low calorie sweeteners in. And that's bad because that would shoot my blood sugar up, even though it was 0 calories and it would make me starving. So I'm clean fasting, but I got the Nespresso because delicious. And then I said, oh, I don't have to put cream in it. I don't have to put sweetener in it. It's just delicious, just like that.
That's a good tip as well. Maybe elevate your coffee. You deserve it. So many people try to drink their old stuff, maybe their grocery store can. And
Right,
like you just said, I've upgraded my coffee. I buy good coffee. Sometimes I grind my own beans. We've joined a
right.
coffee club where we've tried different ones. Like a new one comes every week.
Lovely.
It's like Christmas. So, yeah, I just love trying different good quality coffees. I actually truly enjoy the flavor of coffee now.
And here's the other thing. Since you're not putting all the junk in it, this is an investment in your health. So when I drink my black coffee, I'm worth it. It's like buying running shoes when my shoes wear out. It's an investment in my health. So, if you're fasting, get the good coffee. You deserve it, right?
You deserve it. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, what advice then, other than coffee, would you give someone who's just beginning intermittent fasting or is new to this lifestyle?
Okay. So there's so much I could say because, I'm a coach. But the first thing I would say is say I am. Don't say I'm trying to fast. The first thing out of the gate is you got to change the message. Like I'm
The
trying to quit
mindset.
smoking. No, no, no. I am quitting smoking. I am an intermittent faster. Not like I'm trying, I'm going to try and work out. No, 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 no. I am an intermittent faster. So you got to give yourself the message. And then even if you just do 12 hours, you finish eating after dinner and you push your breakfast out to 9:30. I don't know. So you start with small, measurable things. And every time you do something good, yay, yay me.
Yay.
You got to focus on your successes and you got to talk to yourself nicely. People are always putting themselves down. So talk to yourself like you would talk to your dog or your child. Good job. Good job on you. So
Yes.
I think you have to, don't say I'm trying, say I am an intermittent faster. I would start right with that. Be kind to yourself, do small, break it in gently if you need to. And if you have a day where you're like, I can't do this, I got to eat early. So eat early. The world will still turn and you just go on. Hello. And you start
Yeah.
again tomorrow.
You haven't failed. You've just changed your day.
Yeah. And I would say one thing. I do clean fast, but sometimes if I want to push it out and make it to an OMAD, I don't do it every day. But I'm still fasting, but I'll have a bone broth with butter like 3 o'clock. So essentially I've opened my window. But in my head, I haven't chewed yet. I haven't eaten food. So that's my opener, but I still feel like I'm fasting. And then the first food I put in my mouth is maybe at dinner.
Okay. So it's like, it is a window opener. You are breaking your fast, but it still keeps you in that fat burning mode for a little while longer and makes you feel light and lifted.
It makes me feel light, so I'm not putting food in. Yeah. And the other thing, this is for me. I think you need to adjust your fasts to your lifestyle and your activity. So when I'm doing a long run, maybe I'll open my window earlier. If I have a crazy busy day, maybe I'll extend my window. If I'm doing a singing gig, I can make it till 4. Some days I got to eat at noon. So some days I open at noon. Some days I open at 2:30. I rarely open my window before 12 noon. But give yourself grace and assume that you're going to succeed. Like really assume that you say, yes, I can.
Yes, I can. Yes. And even like you had said, if you have one longer day, the next day is a new fast, which I love. People are like, oh, I quit fasting. I've never quit fasting. Did you go to sleep? Then you had a fast, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no such thing as falling off the wagon. That should just be taken right out. I had a longer eating window. Okay. We're all fasting,
Yes.
like you said, when we sleep. So you got 8 hours, hopefully. Right there you go.
At the very least, I hope you got 8 hours, which is so easy, right? And so 12 is really doable for a lot of people. So just like you said, start small, give your body some grace, listen to it, and it could work for you.
All right. And there's one more thing I do want to say. I know the title of Jen's book is a great book. I read it. I love it. The Delay, Don't Deny. I do have to say this. Delay, Don't Deny is fabulous if you're a kind of person that you can do moderation. But for some people, it's a slippery slope. So like Graham talks about this, Graham Curry, he said he can't even look at a piece of bread. So if you have foods that are your danger foods, maybe you don't have to give them up for the rest of your life, but maybe while you're learning how to do your fast, maybe take them out for a month, or 5 weeks, or just take them away for a while, and then you can add them back in later when you have more control over your satiety. But if, like nuts, you and Lisa were talking about peanut butter. If that's a danger food for you, for me, it's cheese. Like I never met a piece of cheese I don't like. So if that's a danger food, maybe I have to take it away for a couple of weeks. So, and it's not deprivation. You can add it back in, or maybe it just doesn't work for you anymore.
Yes, or maybe delaying for a longer period of time, like you said, a month or 2 months, or maybe you're delaying it forever because it just doesn't work for your body. But give yourself a chance to find out. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add, Lisa?
I'd like to say thank you again to you for doing this. I think it's really important to have these conversations. Back in the old days, we wouldn't say the word cancer. Like everyone would say cancer, like they would whisper it. And so, I'm an intermittent faster. People are like, what? So you can call it time restricted eating, but human beings have been fasting since the dawn of man. The cavemen would fast. They would eat, then they would go running and hunting and get their meals. They were fasting. Human beings have been doing fasting since the dawn of man. So when you hear the word fasting, it is not starving. Fasting is just giving your body and your brain a little rest from food. So please remember that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Please remember that. It's what the other Lisa had also said too. If it helps with your mindset, maybe change it to intermittent eating because you're going to eat as well.
Yeah.
We are not starving.
That.
Yeah. I liked it as well. I thought it was a good tip.
Yeah, really well done, Erika. I like your outline and the way you ask questions and the way you add in it. You have a real knack for this. Really well done.
Thanks so much, Lisa. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, I just love talking to other fasters. And sometimes they're hard to find out there in the world. So I'm so glad that you were able to talk to me today. I've learned so much from you, and I'll be looking forward to watching your journey.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pause and Fast podcast. It truly means the world to have you here showing up for yourself and for this community. So please remember to subscribe to this channel and like and share this video with anybody who's interested in intermittent fasting. If you want to keep the conversation going, then please join us at the Pause and Fast Facebook group. It's where we connect with each other and support each other on this journey. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more fasting tips and advice. And if you feel compelled to share your journey, I would be honored to hear it. So please email me at pause.and.fast@gmail.com. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So thank you again for listening. And until then, I'm cheering you on. So let's keep moving forward for great health together. Have a great day.